All right, this is the insane Bortoleto crash at the end of the sprint race last weekend in Brazil. And as you can see, the car was absolutely clobbered. It was totally destroyed. And the team had such a task on their hands to rebuild it in time for qualifying only a few hours later. They almost made it. They got really close, but they didn't quite make it in time to get him out for Q1. But they got very close. However, this may not have been an issue in times past. So as you can see here, the car was totally just beaten up. So what they decided to do was, rather than fix this, is actually rebuild a car from scratch. They had all the parts, so they just put them all together, bolted them all together, connected all the wires, and built a new car. However, in the past, teams, at least the front-running teams, used to bring a third car fully assembled to the track. Now, they're no longer allowed to do that, but let's find out a bit more about that. So it started in the 60s when cars were so unreliable, they would crash all the time and they just simply wouldn't have time to fix them up. So they had a third car that they could just hop in and drive. Maybe they could try different setups and then, compare. And, it was very, very loosey-goosey. Like, there weren't many rules around that time. They got firmed up in the 70s and 80s and, of course, 90s. They were then referred to as T-cars, which I believe refers to training car or test car. I can't find a definitive on that. You'll obviously correct me in the comments. But yeah, that's sort of the rise of the T-car. Now, that went out of vogue in the sort of 2000s because what happened was the front-running teams who had all the money could afford to bring a third car, fully assembled with all the bits and pieces, probably set up for their lead driver, let's be honest. But if the second driver was able to hop in, they could make the changes to set it up for them too. But they were the only ones who could afford it. So there was a big disparity between the front-running teams and the teams with less money at the rear. So with the cost cap and this emphasis on trying to reduce the insane ballooning costs of Formula One, they got rid of the T-car. So yeah, since 2008, no more third car / T-car, whatever you want to call it. But the teams, as they did in Brazil, can build a whole new car from scratch. They just can't have it pre-assembled.